guys, let me just pause that song here before this video get copyright, because you guys know how YouTube work, right? But that's like right now my favorite song. If you guys don't like soca music, I don't know what you guys are listening to, but soca music is one of my favorite music. And listen, this new song have me and that's kind of like in a buzz. Really love it. Shout out to all the Caribbean massive, shout out to all the Caribbean people, but also shout out to the singer of this song. Big up yourself. Now, today's video, guys, if you guys haven't already heard, the Caregiver program in Canada is gonna be officially launching on March 31st, 2025. Now, that's just another month and a half away from now. So a lot of persons are currently like getting putting themselves in positions of advantage to be a part of this program. Now, if you guys haven't already seen my previous videos on the topic, quick synopsis is IRCC has created a program that gives caregivers or prospective caregivers who want to move to Canada the opportunity to become permanent residents upon landing in Canada. So no longer do you have to work for 6 months or for a year and then apply for permanent residency. You can apply for permanent residency as soon as you land in Canada. You can get your PR. Now, this is something that is limited in the sense that, from what I'm hearing, only approximately 10,000 applications will be completed, or 10,000 persons will get PR underneath this stream, based on what I'm hearing. Even though the intricacy of the program is not yet fully out in detail, but a lot of persons are just kind of like assuming what it's going to be like and so forth and so on. Now, one of the biggest things you need, or as a matter of fact, the main thing that you need to be eligible underneath this program is a job offer from an organization that provide caregiving service, either full-time or part-time. So a lot of persons are wondering, how can I get a caregiver job in Canada? If you're outside of Canada, how can you get one? And if you're inside of Canada, how can you get one? So I'm going to just share some tips with you guys of ways that I suggest that you guys can go about getting a caregiver job in Canada. But before I get into the detail, of course, guys, I'm going to ask you guys to just take a quick second to hit that subscribe button. And if you are getting any value from this content, or if you think you're going to be getting value from this content, just take a second and hit that like button. It's really important to me. And leave your comments in the comment section as usual. And share this for a friend. Tell a friend about coming to Canada as a caregiver. Share this video with them so they can know that they have options, right? Now, Canada needs caregiver. So much that IRCC has created a pathway specific for caregivers. It's a field that is in high demand in many different places in Canada. Now, as per many other streams, what I would like to say, guys, is please, if you're gonna go to the big city, know that the chances are you might not be as successful than if you go to a smaller city. Because in the bigger cities, they might not need as much workers. They might not have as much shortfall in terms of their labor gap as the smaller cities, because of course there's many more people in the bigger cities, so they're able to fill their positions a lot easier. So I know you might want to go and live in the big city. You guys know what they are, where they are. Although that's your heart's desire, look into the smaller communities, especially for this opportunity. Getting this job offer, if you're looking into a smaller community, you have a greater chance of getting that job offer, especially if you're not yet in Canada. Now let's start right there. Now, what are some of the things that you need to be doing if you are looking for a job offer from a prospective employer here in Canada? The first thing I'd like to say, guys, is this is something that you should be doing right now, even before the program launch, because you want to get all your ducks in a row so that when the program launch, you already have a prospective job offer. Don't wait until after the program launch, then you're going to be running up and down trying to get a job offer, by which time the positions might all be gone, right? So the first thing you want to do is to decide where in Canada you want to live. Deciding where you want to live in Canada is key. As I mentioned before, the smaller cities might give you more opportunities to get that job offer than in a bigger city. After you have identified where it is that you want to live in Canada, you make a list of all the prospective list of employers that provide caregiving service in the respective city that you have narrowed down. So you just simply go on Google, it's a Google search. Caregiving companies or organization in Calgary. And I use a big city because just in case you want to go there. So you do a Google search, you pop into Google caregivers services provider in Calgary. You see a list of all these companies. Then you have all of the list of this company. The first thing you're going to want to do is, now I know the typical way that we know how to apply for jobs in the Caribbean most times is to send a resume and wait to get a reply. However, if you really want it, you have to go out there and you have to look it. You have to be a little bit more proactive than just sending in your resume. So what I always encourage people to do is, one, so you have your list of possible employers. So you start with the first company on your list. You're gonna pick up the phone. And you're gonna call that company. Find out what is it that they're looking for when they're looking for a caregiver. In terms of if they're looking for somebody with relevant experience or if they're looking for somebody with qualification. Every company is different. So you pick up the phone and you call to find out like what is exactly that specific company is looking for. Now for the caregiving program, to eligible for the caregiver program, all you need is an equivalent of a Canadian high school diploma, which is 99% of people have that, because most countries it's on par, right? So you're gonna find out what that specific company look for. Sometimes they want somebody with diploma in social works, or sometimes they just want somebody who have worked in the field before. So you call the company, hey, you know what? I'm thinking of applying as a caregiver. I just want to have an idea, what kind of requirements do you guys typically look for? Okay, after you do that for all the companies, you have an idea of where you qualify and where you don't qualify. Like in other words, some company might say, hey, you need to have a bachelor's in social works. You know you don't have that, you cross that off your list. Some company might say, hey, you know what, we want somebody with 2-year experience. You know you have that, you put that on the have that list over right here. So what you have done now is to narrow down the companies that you know that you are qualified for based on what they specifically look for when they're looking for a caregiver. Now you have this list. Now when you start, you probably have a list of 20. After you narrow it down, you now have probably a list of 5 or 10 or whatever it comes down to. Now those 5 or those 10, that's your, let's call it, those are your prospect list. That's your lead sheet. Those are your people. Now you have done people here, you know, say, yo, I'm eligible for a caregiver job right here. So the next thing you're gonna do, you're gonna go on your phone and you're gonna download LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the #1 app here if you want to network in Canada. LinkedIn, not Facebook, not Instagram, not Snapchat, none of the above. LinkedIn. Make sure you have LinkedIn on your phone, and then the next thing you want to do is all of those companies that you have remaining, you pop the name and the city in your LinkedIn search. So say the Henderson's support services, Grand Prairie. You pop that in your LinkedIn search, and typically what that does, it gives you usually a list of persons who work for that specific organization who is on LinkedIn. So then now you are able to see, okay, that's the HR person, that's the hiring manager right there, that's that person right there, that's the person right there, and you connect with each and every one of them. Anybody who you think can provide you that job offer, you connect with them. After you have connected with them, let's be fair, not everybody's gonna accept the connection request, but some will. The ones who do accept your connection request, you are gonna message those persons. Hey, my name is Demar, I'm a Jamaican, and I am really interested in working for your organization. I see Canada has a caregiver program, and all I would need to be eligible is a job offer. Here is, can I get an email where I can send you a copy of my resume so you can see my qualifications and so forth, so on. So what you have created right there is an inside link. So then that person will then probably reach out to you with an email address and say, hey, you can send your email here, and then vice versa. It's very important to note that the only thing that the employer needs to do is to provide you with the job offer. Everything else is on your plate. So they don't need to spend any money, they don't need to do any of this or any of that. So only thing they need to do is to provide a job offer. So once you get into the room to have a conversation with these people, probably they'll give you an interview, then these are things that you can say that listen, I've been following the immigration space. I've always wanted to move to the respective city for a long time, so I was really happy when I saw this opportunity, and I want to be a part of the program. So as soon as if you are willing to offer me a job offer, then I would be able to do my process myself. It wouldn't be an expense on the organization, and I would come in and I would be 100% committed to the organization, kind of thing. And just be open, be transparent, and use your personality and use your flair and use your vibes. And oftentimes, those are ways that you have to do. Those are the ways that you usually have to separate yourself from the pack in order to get a job offer if you're not already in Canada. Now, sometimes, like, you want a job offer in Canada, and we usually resort to just sending out resumes and stuff like that, which might work sometimes, but the chances are it's very few and rare that it might work, because guess what? Just as though you are sending resume, many other people is also sending in their resumes, so that your resume might get lost in the land of no return. So you have to separate yourself from the competition. And this is just one way that you can use to separate yourself from the competition. And even though we're speaking specifically about the caregiver program, it's no different. If you're a plumber and you're certified and you want a job offer, you can do the same thing. If you're an electrician and you're certified and you have a qualification, you can do the same thing. And these are just things that requires a little bit more extra effort, but might lead to bigger rewards. So take my advice, guys. Take my advice. Now, if you guys agree with me, let me know by smashing that like button. If you guys got any value, let me know in the comment section. Really appreciate it, guys. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Until next time, I will see you guys in the next video.